Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna teach Kerala State Biology. The first chapter is sensation and responses. Here they've given a picture to show us the different kinds of sensations. So observe the picture. There are many different kind of organisms and human beings, that is children mainly. What are they doing? So there's a child sitting under a tree, mango tree, and eating mangoes. And there's one more child who is touching the body of the snail, and the snail is withdrawing its body into the shell. So what's happening here? You can write one more too. So there's a butterfly which follows the sense of nectar to find it. So what's happening here? They they're showing the different kinds of senses in human body and in other variety of organisms. So let's go to the next page. So what are the factors to which children and other organisms respond to? One, taste. The child eating mango, that is taste. And the snail withdrawing its body would be touch. And then the butterfly would be smell. And then there were many more, right? Um, there's a children, both of the children, scaring the crows or parrots away from the field. That would be um, danger stimuli, I would say. They they experienced danger, so they just flew away. So the um, next they have given the definition of stimuli. Before explaining the definition of stimuli, I would like to explain it in my words. What is stimuli? Stimuli is something that um, makes you res- respond to that particular incident. Okay. See, for example, if a nail is kept on the floor and if you accidentally um, step on it, unconsciously you will step back, right? That is the stimuli. That is the touch stimuli. So the definition for stimuli would be the senses that evoke responses in organisms are called stimuli. It's very easy. So the senses, there are different kinds of senses: skin, nose, mouth, tongue, sorry, tongue, ear. The senses that evoke responses in organisms are called stimuli. That is the definition. Do we reorganize stimuli only from our immediate surroundings? Hunger and thirst are stimuli formed inside the body, aren't they? Find out more examples for such stimuli. How does the body receive stimulus? So let's see, how does the body receive stimuli? Okay. So you all know, right? Everything in Kerala state syllabus, everything is important. Like each and everything. There's nothing like this is important. This is important. You have to study. There might be few questions that I'll tell you which are there. I know exactly how the question papers are printed. Let's see. This chapter is really interesting, and this is one of the easiest chapter I would say, and it's very interesting also. Let's learn. Okay. Next is observe the illustrations 1.1 and let us write the inferences. Find out the inferences. What is this? There's this tongue, right? They've given the picture of the tongue and eyeball. They're showing the receptor in the tongue, that is papillae, and the receptor in the eyeball would be different kinds of um, eye pigments, actually rods and cones. There are different kinds of eye pigments. These are very specialized cells. There are in an inner organ, if it is receiving certain stimuli, then it must have a specialized cell to receive the stimuli. So in tongue, you should study like this. You should remember like this. In tongue, there's papillae, and in eyes, there's eye pigments. Okay, vision pigments. So that's it. Uh, next we'll study. Next we'll see nervous system. There are specialized cells in the sense organs, hmm, and other parts of the body to receive stimuli. These cells are known as receptors. Okay, the part where the stimuli is received is called receptors. That's what the receptors get stimulated by the stimuli. Different kinds of stimuli, right? The taste, touch, all these are different kinds of stimuli. They receive stimuli and generate suitable impulses. From the stimuli stimulates the receptors, and the receptors generate suitable impulses in your brain cells. Brain cells analyze it and give you a suitable response. If it is taste, it gives you the taste. If it is vision, it gives you vision. If it is smell, it gives you smell. There are different parts in the brain which analyze each and every activity, and it shows you the thing happening around you or on you. Okay. Next, what they have given is normally responses occur when the impulses generated by the receptors on receiving the stimuli reach the brain. The nervous system controls and coordinates these actions. So, analyze figure 1.1 and find out the major parts of the nervous system. So, we already know the major parts of the nervous system, right? It's basic sense. Basic it is. I would say it's basic. So, what are the different kinds of nervous system? There's peripheral nervous system and central nervous system. In the central nervous system, you have brain and spinal cord. And in the peripheral nervous system, there's your whole body. Leave the brain and the spinal cord. Whole body, where all the nerves are spreading. Those are those are the nerves. Those are the peripheral nervous system, and it is also divided into many categories. Okay. Next is the neuron. Neuron or nerve cell is the basic structural unit of the nervous system. It's basic. It's a basic one. Like you will find neuron. Neuron is very basic. Like it is required. Like all other cells, the neuron has a cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Analyze illustration 1.2 and tabulate the main parts of neuron. Its characteristic function, write them down in the science aid. So, the neuron structure, I would say it is little important. You have to know the structure, and it's very easy also. So, what's happening here is neuron. It 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 has, let's first learn and then I'll teach you how to draw it. It's really easy. You don't have to break your head. So neuron, first it has cell body, and then it has a long axon, and that has a branch. So the stimuli is received from the cell body and transmitted along the axon, and then it reaches the branches, the synaptic node, where it is transmitted to one more neuron. That's how the connection works, okay, in the brain. For your understanding, I've told you. So let's see the parts of neurons. Okay, the cell body has cytoplasm and nucleus and dendrites. The dendrites are the small branches, and the dendrons are the branch which is directly arising from the cell body. And this Schwann cell, which encircles the axon to protect the neuron from shock, actually, external shock. And then there's the axon, which transmits the impulse, and then axonate, that is a branch of axon, and then synaptic node. In the axonate, there's a node which carries chemicals. So when the stimuli is has reached the knob, it releases some kind of chemicals called neurotransmitters that goes and binds to the adjacent neuron, and that gets stimulated. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Each and every path's details we'll see. So here comes dendrite. Dendrite is a branch of dendron and part that receives impulses from adjacent neuron. Just like I said, it's very easy, right, to remember. So one thing is it is a branch of dendron. Second is part that receives impulses from adjacent neuron. Then dendron. Dendron is a short filament from the cell body, and it carries impulses from the dendrites to the cell body. Then axon. Axon is the longest filament from the cell body, carries impulses from the cell body to outside. Okay. And then Schwann cell encircles the axon. Then axonate, it is a branch of axon, carries impulses to the synaptic node. Synaptic node, it is present at the tip of the axonite. You can see here this part, this black color is synaptic node. So it secretes neurotransmitters. It has chemicals. There's a variety of chemicals called neurotransmitters in the synaptic node, which is really important. Okay, it is present in the form of vesicles that would be released in between the synaptic node, and then it passes to the adjacent neuron. So let's see what they've given. So axons of most of the neurons are repeatedly encircled by myelin, a membrane containing lipid. This is called myelin sheath. So the Schwann cell is there, no, that will secrete a myelin that repeatedly encircle the axon. So that sheath is called myelin sheath. See here you can see the Schwann cell is here. This part, this dot is the Schwann cell. So that produces this myelin sheath. All this is myelin sheath. Okay. Then let's find out the significance of myelin sheath. Okay, next page. This is something given for extra studies that is not really important for your exam point. But still, if you want to know more, then you can read that. Now let's just focus on this part. Okay, nerve is a group of axons. A myelin sheath in the nerves is formed of Schwann cells. Myelin sheath in the brain and the spinal cord is formed of specialized cells called oligodendrons. The myelin sheath has a shiny white color. Part of the brain and the spinal cord where myelinated nerve cells are present in abundance is called white matter, and the part where non-myelinated nerves are called gray matter. So the myelin sheath, as I've already told, it is present to protect the nerve cells. Here they're telling nerves are nothing but it is a group of axons. Okay, myelin sheath in the nerves is formed of Schwann cells. There's that uh, round colored cell is there. No, that forms myelin sheath. So myelin sheath in the brain and the spinal cord is of specialized cells called oligodendrocytes. So, in the brain and the spinal cord, the brain and the spinal cord is the central nervous system, right? So, you have to protect the brain part and the spinal cord should be well protected. So, they are very special. The myelin sheath of the brain and the spinal cords are very special. So, they are formed from the oligodendrocytes. The myelin sheath has a shiny white color. The myelin sheath has a shine. It is white in color. The myelin sheath. Okay, the part of the brain and the spinal cord where myelinated nerves are present is abundance, is many, is you can see um, only little gray matter and wide white matter. Okay, and the part where non-myelinated nerves are present is called gray matter. The major functions of myelin sheath are to provide nutrients and oxygen to the axon, accelerate impulse, act as electric insulator, and protect the axon from the external shock. The main in the sense the main function is to protect the axon from the external shock. Okay, and it provides nutrients and oxygen to the axon because axon is covered by the myelin sheath, right? Won't get it won't be contacting uh, extracellularly, it won't be contacting. So myelin sheath provides it, and it also accelerates the impulses. It helps in accelerating the impulses transmitted by the axons, and it acts as an electric insulator. So it continuously encircles the axon for what? To protect it from the external electrical shocks. Okay, and it protects the axon from external shock. So next is indicators. In the indicators is they've given what to study actually, how it is formed. The myelin sheath is formed from Schwann cells, gray matter and white matter. Majority is white matter, gray matter is very little. The in the nervous system where myelin sheath is present looks white, so it is called white matter. Gray matter is the part where non-myelinated nerve cells are there. That is gray matter. And the functions. One is to provide nutrients and oxygen to the axon. Second is accelerate impulses. And then third one is acts as electric insulator, and fourth one is protect the axon from the external shock. Okay, these functions. Please remember it's very easy also. Very easy.